Today we're going to be changing the transmission fluid on this 2015 Nissan Rogue. This is my own personal vehicle. I have not changed the fluid on it ever before, and I haven't seen many procedures online of how to do it. So today we're going to show you how to change your own fluid. The process of changing the fluid on this vehicle is fairly simple. It comes down to a matter of just draining it out and refilling it again. The only issue that we have is the fact that this transmission, there's no way to tell the level. What we have down here with the little white mark on the cap there is a transmission dipstick tube, but that is only a cap. That is not actually a level checking dipstick. So when you pull that off, there's nothing there to tell you how much fluid you have in your transmission. So I looked online, and on Amazon I found a $20-some Canadian transmission dipstick tube for this vehicle, or dipstick, not tube, sorry. This should be able to show you your level after you've changed your fluid or in between changes. So we'll be installing that today before we do the transmission drain to see what our fluid level is, and then we'll be checking it again after we fill the transmission to make sure we have the proper amount. The proper way to check your fluid level is with your vehicle at idle, and the engine should be at operating temperature. What you're going to want to do is take your vehicle from park, put it into reverse for a few seconds, into neutral for a couple seconds, drive, and then low. And then work your way back. This allows the fluid to circulate through the transmission properly by putting it into every single gear available here. To remove the cap, you just stick a screwdriver in. There's a little tab you lift up on it, and it releases the cap. So you can see we have just a cap inside of our dipstick tube. There's no actual dipstick on it, which I find kind of odd. Now we have our new dipstick here, and we're going to see what our fluid level is at. We're now inserting our new dipstick into the tube. It can be a little stiff at first. Make sure it's fully secure in there for a second or two. Pull it out and check your level. Now our level is looking pretty good here. That crosshatch section is where your fluid should be. Right near the top of that when hot. Our fluid is pretty close to the top of that, and the fluid's actually looking pretty clean. I'm quite impressed. Alright, now that we've verified our fluid level on level ground, I put the vehicle up on some ramps to give me some access to underneath for draining the fluid. So you want to locate your transmission drain plug underneath your vehicle here. This is the underneath. We got our engine oil pan on the right hand side from inside the vehicle, and we have a transmission pan on the left hand side here. Now the transmission pan does have a drain plug here, so we're going to remove that and drain our fluid. Alright, now that we got a drain pan and a ratchet, this drain plug is a 19mm or 3/4 socket. I've already cracked it free here, so we're going to ratchet it out. We're going to see what this fluid's like and see how much we got. Alright. Well, looking a little dirtier than it was in the dipstick, but that's alright. We are changing it for a reason. So we're going to let this drain out, and once it's drained out, we're going to measure how much fluid we actually removed, and then we're going to put the same amount back into the vehicle, and then we're going to check our level again. Alright, now we've got our fluid all drained out. We're going to put our drain plug back in. Now these drain plugs, they do have a copper washer, as you can see there, that goes on there. Now I don't have one to replace it with. I do recommend it, that especially if it's been changed a couple times, that you replace that washer so it prevents it from leaking. It just helps seal the pan with the drain plug. So get that back in there. Snug it up. You don't want it too tight, but you want it tight enough it ain't coming out. So you got to use discretion there. Alright, we've poured our fluid into this jug, and you can see by the level, I don't know how clear it is, but it shows about 4 liters. So we're going to put 4 liters back into the vehicle and see where it shows in the dipstick. We're ready to fill the transmission now. I'm using Nissan's continuous variable transmission, CVT fluid, for this transmission. That's what it requires. You can't put anything else in there. Now this funnel, I do recommend getting a funnel that will fit into the end of your dipstick tube, and then you just pour it right in. Makes life a lot easier. Now this transmission does require on line 5 liters of oil, but since we only recovered 4 liters, there's probably still some old stuff in there that didn't get to come out just by draining the pan. So we'll put 4 liters in and we'll check the dipstick again, like I said, and we'll go from there. All right, we've got 4 liters back into the transmission. I'm going to start the vehicle up, let it run for a second here. I'm actually going to back it down off my ramps. Carefully. All right, and we're going to put it through every gear once again. So in reverse, neutral, drive, and low, and then back up through. And now we're going to go back out and recheck our level. All right, we're going to check our fluid level. Dipstick all the way in. Pull it out and take a look. Well, looks all right. A little on the low side, as you can see, but the transmission is cold, as well as the fluid is fairly cold, so it will expand, and I'm sure that will be proper level once it's warm. So we'll let the vehicle run, get it nice and warm, and we'll recheck it. All right, I let the vehicle warm up. I took it for a little drive. I'm going to recheck this fluid level now that the fluid's a little warmer and see where it's at. Our level is looking pretty good. It's showing just about right at the top of that crosshatch section. That's the section that it should be for measurement. All right, so that concludes our service on this Nissan Rogue. Hopefully this video gives you guys some guidance if you want to change your own transmission oil. We should be good to go for another 100,000 kilometers or so. If you guys find your Nissan or your any CVT transmission in a Nissan is the oil is getting dirty, or even if the transmission is making some whining noises, sometimes all it needs is a transmission oil change. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. I hope this video helps you guys out and saves you guys some money from going to possibly a dealership paying hundreds of dollars when you can simply do it yourself with a little bit of time and a few tools. So like and subscribe. If you want more videos like this, please let me know, and we'll see you next time.